Okay, the recording is now started, and this is just going to be a short little testimonial from someone special on our network. Everyone is special, but Judy's had some maybe more success than some other people on our service, and Judy Casimir is going to talk to us about some of the transactions and how she did them on ICIWorld. And other people listening in on the phone have prompted this, and we decided to just record it. And Judy, welcome online here.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you for agreeing to do this little short testimonial. And Judy, you've done some transactions on ICIWorld, and people are sometimes interested in how they came about.
Yes. Basically, it started with, as it is in my testimonial, it started as a want. I was looking for investors.
Okay, I'm going to jump in and show the testimonials, which if you go to ICIWorld, our main screen, you'll see on the left-hand side that these are all testimonials that we have compiled over the last while, and literally one-on-one we've been compiling them one at a time, and one of them happens to be Judy here, and you'll see her testimonial online. Go ahead, Judy. It started from a want, is what I understand. And you placed a want for what at the time? Do you remember?
Yes, for investors for large properties.
Right, and they were looking for large properties. And I'm going to
I had a large property for sale in Florida. I was a hotel, a Sheraton. Plus I got 3 more in the Northern Carolinas and South Carolinas. They were all.
So people were responding to your want.
The people that were, yeah, I put it on. I was looking for investors for large properties, and I not only said hotels, I said apartments, plazas, and any investment property. And that's when I got a call from a gentleman in Edmonton looking for large properties in Toronto. And I met with him when he came to Toronto. We met personally. I showed him some of the products that I had. And it happened to be an office tower that I knew about through a broker. And we ended up doing the deal. It took us a year and a half to do the deal, but I ended up selling 3 buildings, the 3 office buildings that the owner had that my seller was interested in.
So in other words, and that was, the final selling package was roughly how much?
$54 million.
Okay, so there's a substantial commission in here, and it all started from networking through the haves and wants that were on ICIWorld, and people were simply responding to you.
I spent every day on ICIWorld. At that time, I was getting started, and I was looking for all the wants and the haves. And what I was doing was connecting the wants with the haves, with people that I knew.
Very good.
And I just started networking with the people in the ICIWorld, and it just you build relationships.
And that's what it's all about, and you did a great job. One of the comments we had earlier was we had some older listings on the service, older than a year old, and if you had a choice to eliminate all the listings that were longer than a year old, you would not want to do that.
No,
could you tell me the reason why?
Well, the property could be 3-4 years old, and it could be, say, a $15 million property. So even if it's on there and they may have sold it, which is likely that they had, but at least if you know you're looking for a property of that size and that particular person had that listing, they would be able to get listings possibly in that price range again, because they're tied into a circle. So that's how you get in, is you make a call and say, you know, I know 3 years ago you had a large listing. Do you have any availability, anything else right now? And there's possibility that he has, but he cannot advertise it on ICIWorld or any other site because of the owners not wanting any publicity whatsoever. So if you contact that person, you may have, and it's not a pocket listing, it's just an exclusive listing that you have to be very careful with, and you deal with the people that you can trust and you build relationships with. And that's how it gets started. So No, I would not take it off, because then you can search the price range that those people are dealing with, and then you sort it out by your price range.
So in other words, having an open, free type of service that even though some of the listings are old and compared to a real estate board, it would seem like they should have been taken off. We purposely, as a group, have not taken them off because it identifies people with whom you can do business with someday.
Yes.
Because a person who's had a $15, $20 million building in the past still knows those same circle type of people, and they may very well be able to do business with you if you have buyers in that. And this service sort of helps you identify those kind of people. It's another way of doing it. That's
Yes.
it for the session. One of the ways that people saw the session, and it happens to be someone that's online right now, there's the testimonial from not only Judy, but you'll see from all kinds of other people that are kind of doing deals through the ICIWorld service on the internet. But Tertia happens to be online, and there's her website, and it started from people coming to your website. You mentioned originally, Judy, that actually clicked on a button called Ontario Commercial on your website, and they saw these listings. Were they searching the shopping centers, or what did they search when they came to your website?
They were searching haves and wants.
Under the shopping centers or office buildings?
Both. All.
Okay,
all
so
investment properties.
You know, they click on investment properties on your website, and maybe they happen to see this particular list here.
Yes.
And the next thing you know, they called you on one of these numbers because they could not click on that message number to see the other broker. They had to call you.
Yes, and the other important thing is, too, you're not dealing with the MLS system where you have to put all the information down, and especially when you have an exclusive listing, you don't have to be exact on where it is, or but just basic information. You have the choice of not at the bottom saying that you know about, which is very important, and not having, because you may know about it, but you may not have it signed up as a listing. So that's important too when you're doing your search, your haves and wants when you're posting them.
And to demonstrate that, this is the form where people put things in, and you'll see that MLS is simply one choice of the control that you might have.
Mm-hmm.
It might be a regular client of yours, and you can actually choose that.
When I see MLS, I stay away from them.
In the case of certain kinds of properties, that is the case, and some people say 90% of the shopping centers are not on real estate boards.
Exactly.
This is an example of the case, and same thing with apartment buildings and many other things. Now, we still recommend, of course, real estate boards as a service, and I, too, have been a broker for 40 years and belong to real estate boards, and you definitely need it where appropriate. This is just another tool to help you do some of these other kinds of deals. Thank you so much, Judy, for kind of showing some of this stuff with us, and we're actually going to sign off now, and that was a nice testimonial. We certainly do appreciate it. Anybody that's dealing in that kind of property, you might want to try to get a hold of Judy, and you can catch her through the ICIWorld service, Judy Casimir, and we're now going